Shannon, what's your reaction to all of this?
Well, he really stuck his neck out there talking about Sauce Gardner might be the best, considering that by many circles he was considered graded the best cornerback last year as a true rookie, and he was Defensive Rookie of the Year. So he didn't really have to take a big leap to get to that conclusion. Skip, I was glad that he stayed. He took advantage of some of the things that's going on in New York. I said Taylor Swift had a concert. He was there. A Rangers game. He was there. Knicks game. He was there. The Tony Awards. He was there. So I'm glad that he got an opportunity, that he stayed, got an opportunity to spend some more time with the receivers, get some more work in with those guys. That's what leaders do. Leaders do things that know, like, man, I want to be somewhere else. But you're in a different situation. You're in a different environment. These guys are looking at you. He understands that all these guys' eyes are on him. And so I was glad that he stayed there. Robert Saleh, unfortunately for you, you're not Coach Belichick. And you don't have that kind of pull. You don't kind of have that kind of leeway. No. So guess where them cameras are going to be at, Skip? They're not. I think they're based in somewhere in Jersey. It's a very short drive down the turnpike to get to, I think they play, where did he practice?
Florham Park.
Florham Park, okay.
Yep.
Well, because that's where they're going to be at. Because you got a new quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and it's the Jets. And they got a lot of national televised games this year because you have a new quarterback. I think it's a 95% chance that the Jets are going to be hard knocks this season.
I concur. So all of a sudden we have Broadway Aaron Rodgers. We once upon a time had Broadway Joe Namath, and now the next famous quarterback that they've had since Broadway Joe Namath is Broadway Aaron Rodgers, who has stayed around in New York to become New York's very special guest. You can have the opening of an envelope and he will show up because he wants to be everywhere, see and be seen.
Right.
Because there's nowhere to go in Green Bay, Wisconsin. You can't go to any opening. You can't go to any. There's no event you want to attend that I'm aware of in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
And you have to go to, if you go to a Brewers game, you got to go to Milwaukee. You go to a Bucks game, you got to go to Milwaukee. And in New York, everything that you need. There's the Nets, the Brooklyn. You go to Brooklyn. You can go to New York Mets. You can go to the Yankees. You can go to the Rangers. There's so much going. They had the Tony Awards, as he saw concerts out at Madison Square Garden where he went. I think he saw Taylor Swift. So there's so much more for him to do. Not to say that he wants to do it, but I was glad he got an opportunity to get out and enjoy himself.
So I nearly fell off my chair last night. I walked back in, and the TV was still on the same network that had the Canadian Open Golf, which I'd watched to its conclusion. Then I left to work out, and then I came back, and the TV's still on that network, except the Tonys were on. Well, I don't usually watch the Tonys, but I look up. I'm right on schedule. I look up, and they show a face on the end of the third row. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's there. He's at the Tony Awards. Love the Tony Awards. Again, I don't watch but I'm fascinated, so I started watching, and it was fascinating who started winning.
I'm more of the Oscars and the Grammys, but hey, I'll tune in as, every once in a while I catch the SAGs or the Emmys.
All right, so then it occurred to me that just 10 days ago, Aaron did a big sit-down with The Athletic about how he doesn't need OTAs, right? How he won 4 MVPs without OTAs. Well, is this sarcastic talk from him where he says the last 6 weeks have been about the most fun I've had in a while? Really? The most fun you've had in a while? Well, wait a second. If it's a while, we could go back 3 years. You had the 1 seed and home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and you got an NFC Championship game at home. Then you had the 1 seed again, and you had a straight run to another Super Bowl, your second. And then you're playing Detroit last year at the end of the year in a home game to get to the playoffs. And you lost all 3 of them. So, again, Green Bay fans weren't having fun at all. They should have, because you were in position to have the most fun you've had in your career. 3 straight years.
Well, Skip, sometimes you get comfortable in a place and you need a change of scenery. Sometimes that's how it is with relationships. I mean, the love is gone, and all of a sudden you become roommates. You just become comfortable, and you get someplace else, and they want you, and you wanted to be there, and you get happy. So we'll see how long this is a honeymoon period. Normally the first 6 weeks of a new marriage is normally great. Very few people get divorced on the honeymoon. Now, it happened. I read to get divorced on the honeymoon, but it's a rarity.
Okay, so I'm reading these quotes, and again, I don't know if they're tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic quotes, but now he's talking about how sticking around in New York for the OTAs made for a lot of opportunities for some get-togethers in the city. Obviously, this is him, I'm quoting him. Obviously, the Taylor Swift concert. We had some good team dinners, a lot of hangout times, so that was good. Well, Duh. That's the point. You got a whole new franchise here. That's why this is crucial.
Who knew?
Who knew?
That's what you're supposed to do when you go. You're the quarterback, and you go to a new team. That's what leadership is. Now, see, Skip, the other day, if who's that? Solomon Thomas, and he had said that. Now you got me in with the leadership.
Yeah.
Oh, he's organizing team dinners. The guys are getting together. We're getting to know each other outside of the game of football. We know each other's wives. They got this many kids, yada, yada, yada. They got a degree in this. Okay, Skip, now your boy on there with both feet.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm just looking at that train pass by. I can't jump on that leadership train just yet.
No. So, Nathaniel Hackett now is back to being the quarterback coach / coordinator
quarterback
of his
whisperer.
Offense. Yes, he's the whisperer. I don't think he's whispered it. I think he tells him jokes to make him laugh. So Nathaniel says the offense is, quote unquote, far away from where it needs to be. So when Aaron was told of that quote, he smiled and said, that's just coach talk. So he thinks they've really accomplished a lot in the last couple of OTAs. And he says that I like where we're at, and I appreciate, as every player does, that Rob, as in Robert Saleh, the coach, so now he calls the head coach Rob, cut the last week. So he has now cut out the last week because they do have an earlier start because they're going to play in the Hall of Fame game. Okay. Mm-hmm. The point being, he's still applauding the coach for cutting time that I think he desperately needs. But he also drops hints that he's going to have some of the receivers out to here, to Los Angeles. Right. He's got the place in Malibu, and we're going to have a few workouts and a few get-togethers ahead of the start of training camp.
Like that.
Okay. Well, why not? Okay. Weather hadn't been very good out here.
It's been
probably better in New York.
Yeah, it's been really overcast. Yep. But I'm going to take the averages. I know what the weather is normally like in Southern California over the course of 365 days.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, you know what? It's going to trend. It's going to tend to get a lot better than what it currently is.
Okay. I got it. Now back to Hard Knocks. To your point, they're made for Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
You can't. I'll watch every minute of Hard Knocks. If it's Jacksonville or something, I don't care. I can't get worked up about that. Right. No offense to Jacksonville, but it's not Aaron bleeping Rodgers with the Jets.
Look, Skip, nobody wants to do it. I think Brian Billick wanted to do it.
Well, you were the first.
We were the first Hard Knocks in 2001. The only other team that would do it every single year, it'd be like Thanksgiving to them, would be your Cowboys. Yeah. Jerry Jones would sign up for that thing every year.
Although Mike McCarthy says, not me. But most coaches, to Jen's point, they don't want any part of this because it is you want to talk about ultimate distraction?
But after a while, Skip, you get used to it. I mean, you talk the way you talk, you say what you say. But I think as a coach, you have to be mindful because you might say that guy's really terrible out of you, blah, blah, blah. And so things like that. But the players, after a while, you just talk. You just talk. You literally forget that the cameras are there. You talk, you're like, oh, shit.
I know, but you're speaking for yourself because all you do is talk. I mean, but you are extremely comfortable in your own skin talking. And you led the charge on the 2000, what was it, 2001?
2000 was the rate with the championship.
Yes, but it was 2001 when you did Hard Knocks. Okay.
But Skip, the thing is that they always give the team, edit. Yeah. So nothing's going to get in there with
okay.
Yeah. They get total control.
Okay. All right. But when the Browns were on, remember we had Baker being called in, told, you won the second string job. Remember that?
Right. But see, they know that's going to make great TV.
Okay.
You try at the end of the day, Skip, it's still telling me, hey, man, the first pick in the draft, man, he the backup. He got told he the backup.
Yeah.
And
by Hugh Jackson, really?
We came in, we did a story. Well, everybody was talking about it.
Oh, were they?
Because you see the difference. Bryce Young, transition, he's the starter.
He should be a starter.
Baker Mayfield transition to the backup.
Right. So Tyrod started, Tyrod, however you want to say it, and then he got banged up, and Baker jumped in and off to the races.
Off to the races they went.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.